Have you ever felt like there should be a theme song to your life? Mine started out with The Impossible Dream, Unreachable Star. And now I'm running with This Little Light of Mine. Do you remember anything about being 5 years old? For me, in 1965, I was 5 years old. I remember going to the World's Fair with my parents and my brother. I remember the song, It's a Small World After All. It's a small world after all. Well, with the crowds and the crush and all the different world exhibits and that enormous globe that still stands there in New York, it felt more like an enormous world. Something else I remember from being five. I don't know where it came from. I don't know who told me. I don't know how I got picked. But I remember clearly knowing that I was supposed to save the world. At 5 years old? What the what? I did take it seriously. But seriously? What was I supposed to do with that? No instruction book, no guidance, no manual. And right away, I already felt alone with that. Something else happened back then. The musical Man of La Mancha came out on Broadway, and my father brought home the soundtrack, a shiny record, and a bright yellow album jacket. I played it endlessly. I spent hours staring into the record player, listening, daydreaming. I would act out the scenes and sing along to the lyrics, even the ones I was too young to understand. I met Don Quixote de la Mancha, riding out on his horse, lance in hand, knight in shining armor, ready to right the wrongs, save the damsels in distress, and make the world a better place. Even I could understand back then that he was usually misguided, misinformed, and misperceiving what was going on around him. But boy, his heart was in it, and his commitment unwavering. I had found my role model and my theme song. To dream the impossible dream, to right the unrightable wrong, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go. This is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far. And on with that litany of dysfunctional goals and dreams and themes. Hopeless romantic much? This was seriously my life purpose. I held it in my heart. I tried, I searched, I struggled with it for years. What was I supposed to do? Who was I supposed to become in order to pull this off? I was lost. I felt inadequate. I felt like a failure, and it plagued me through my life with depression, feeling suicidal, self hating, and believing that if I didn't figure this out, I didn't even deserve to be here. What could I possibly do that would be good enough measured against this command? Nothing. Nothing helped, really. No matter what I did, it wasn't good enough. And I never felt, in all those years of searching, that I had found my path or that I had grown into who the me, the version of me that was equal to the task. Until in my 50s, something happened. I was actually between depressions and I was excited about some ideas that I was working on, like starting a peace project on Instagram where I would get photographs of people just being peace and we would all radiate it out to the world. Some other ideas I don't remember now, but I was really excited. And this was a dreary Oregon winter day in December, with holidays coming right up, my busiest season as a custom jeweler. In the middle of my workday, I got a call from my best friend, my mom. I told her my ideas, and I was so excited. I was bubbling over with feeling happy and hopeful and purposeful. And her response, no doubt trying to protect me, was just, that's too much. Don't you think that's too much? Can't you just focus on one thing? Can't you just be a jeweler? Isn't that enough? I am a damn good jeweler, and I've been working at it since I was in high school. But no, it wasn't enough. As I got off the phone, I felt crushed because once again, I wasn't being heard or listened to or seen. I wasn't saving the world. Doesn't anybody understand? In an attempt to not get sunk, and I was sinking, I had been flying, floating, and suddenly it was like a pin had hit my balloon and I was going down, dragging my life of struggle to complete my mission along behind it. I decided to go out and do some errands and try to shift up the focus and the mood. But before I left my studio, I put out a call to God. I don't even know if I believed in God at the time, but I put out the call. And I said, please, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to focus on. So help me. Show me what you want me to do. Make it so clear and powerfully obvious that there's no doubt. And then let everything else just fall away. And I'll do that. So I put the call out and left and went about my errands. And I went here, I went there, following little nudges and little inklings, and maybe I should do this, or maybe I better go there. All of this to wind me up at this stoplight on my path home. I've been listening to one of my mentors on an audiobook, and he's saying sometimes you just have to surrender to grace and allow things to unfold. The light changes and I drive down the street, Pearl Street, by the park. There's an overpass, and I happen to look up and see that there's a girl standing on the wrong side of the wall of the bridge. Without even thinking, I pull my truck over to the side of the road and I jump out and run across the street. And I get up under where she is in the overpass. And I'm standing there saying, what's going on? What's happening? What are you doing there? Tell me, what brought you to this point? What's going on? And she told me. She said that she had been gang raped, that she had bulimia, and her parents threw her out of the house because they didn't know how to deal with her. And she just couldn't take it anymore. She had just had it. She was done. And I looked up and I said, that is a lot to deal with. And I am so sorry that any of that happened to you. I don't know exactly what you're going through. I've never been through just that. But I can tell you that I spent most of my life wishing I wasn't here. And it has gotten better. And I have gotten through. And there are other reasons to stay. And there are other options. And this is not your fault. And this is not where the story of your life has to end. We kept talking to each other. And after some more listening and letting her know that I was really seeing her, she agreed to let me climb up the stairs and join her on the overpass and actually help her down. She fell into my arms crying. And I had apparently, in that moment, saved her life. A couple of police officers came and took her off, hopefully to get some help. Being a minor, I never did find out anything more about her or what happened afterwards. But I like to think that maybe over the last 10 years or so, she's been in a group or even on a stage somewhere. And she's been telling people, you can get through the really hard stuff. You can survive. It can be okay. And maybe telling other people that on one day there, somebody helped her save herself. I remember after she'd gone off with the police, And I was walking down the steps back to my truck that my legs were shaking. My whole body felt like rubber, trembling with adrenaline and fear and the amazement of what had just happened. I had just helped this woman choose life. And in that moment, it was a blessing for her. But for me, there was a whole different gift happening. What it meant for me was that somehow putting out a call to God, to the universe, to the angels, actually worked. And I actually needed to follow all those little nudges and thinking and steps that took me from here to there and the other in order to wind up at that exact place at just the right moment. So that I got to be the no bullshit, compassionate, listening, caring adult that I needed when I was a kid, when I was the one wishing that I wasn't here and wanted to take my life. And it showed me that beyond a shadow of a doubt, I was already exactly enough. I was the one that God called in to help this young woman, and I didn't need to be anything else. So what if my job was simply to be me? After all these years of trying to be someone else, not knowing who that should be or could be or would be, what if I just had to be me? And that unreachable star, not out there in the sky somewhere, it's the tiny bright pilot light that lives right here in the center of my chest, in the center of your chest. My mission, as I understand it now, is to be proud and accepting and inclusive. Inclusive, including myself in my own life, instead of trying to go be somebody else. I've actually been helping other people all my life to see their beauty and their strength and their wisdom, even while they were cursing themselves to be something else. I just couldn't do it for myself. So that's what I do now. I be me, and I help others see who it is inside them that they are meant to be. My life song is different now. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I figured out that self-love is our greatest superpower. And if you really want to make a difference, you have to embrace who you truly are and work with that, not against it. And with that, we really can change the world. I want to thank you for sharing this moment with me. And by way of supporting you in your exploration of becoming, I've got a guided transformational process I would like to gift you. It's called Creating New Possibilities. You'll find the link in the comments. And I also invite you to book a free 30-minute session with me to see how I can support you in becoming all you are here to share. I'm Miche Meisner, soul guide, spiritual mentor. I've been teaching wisdom and woo since 2002. And I'm here to help you stand up, stand out, and be the gift you came here to be. I see you and I raise you.